What's up, guys? The Snowman here, and over the next couple of weeks, both the ATP and the WTA Tours head to South Florida to compete at the Miami Open. It's a tournament I was able to attend a couple of years ago, one of the largest events of the year. So today I wanted to go over the Women's Miami Open draw, which just came out, kind of recap how the tour has looked over the past month, go over some of the most important headlines, hone in on a few matchups, and just get you set for this WTA 1000 level event in the Sunshine State. So let's break the draw up into 4 quadrants and take a look at the first section in Miami. Unlike the men, the vast majority of top women are playing in this tournament. However, the 8-time Miami Open champ Serena Williams recently pulled out after oral surgery. We also don't have 2021 Aussie Open semifinalist Karolina Muguruza, who's out with an abdominal injury, and Donna Vekic is recovering from knee surgery. Otherwise, though, the number 1 player in the rankings, Ash Barty, is in Miami. She's been a major beneficiary of the rankings freeze and the special COVID rankings rules. Barty wouldn't even be in the top 10 based off performance in the past 52 weeks. One of the reasons she's still number 1 is because the Miami Open wasn't played last year, but Barty, technically the defending champion, she won Miami back in 2019, and the Aussie is coming off a semifinal run in Melbourne, hasn't played since because of a leg injury. I like the draw for Barty, though. Ostapenko has been extremely hot and cold lately. Ali Risk, the 25 seed, hasn't won a match since the U.S. Open last year. She's on a 4-match losing streak, so Barty should be able to work herself into this draw and get comfortable. Angie Kerber's in this section. I could see Barty having trouble with the 3-time Miami Open winner, number 14, Azarenka, in the round of 16, but Vika recently pulled out of Doha with a back injury. She might not be 100%. I like the 11 seed, Belinda Bencic's chances to make a deep run. She's quietly starting to regain her form. I had a rough go in Melbourne, was one of the many players who were stuck in the hard quarantine for 2 weeks, but the rhythm seems to be back for Bencic. We could see Bencic versus Venus Williams in the second round. That would be fun. And at the bottom is the 7 seed Aryna Sabalenka, titled this year in Abu Dhabi, playing some fearless tennis, but she's dropped a couple of matches to Muguruza recently, had the great battle versus Serena in Melbourne. I'm still not completely sold on Sabalenka as a Grand Slam champion. Needs to be a little bit more consistent. And if you're looking for a flyer from Section 1, someone unseeded, watch out for Danielle Collins. She's towards the bottom, a former semifinalist in Miami. First-round match versus Kiki Mladenovic. I like Collins to win that and go on to upset the 32 seed Veronika Kudermetova. As we turn to the second quarter of the women's draw in Miami, this might be the most loaded section. Certainly 6 or 7 players who have a great shot of making it out of this group. At the top is the world number 3, Simona Halep, another top player who's kind of been managing a minor injury. Hers is a back issue, so a multitude of elite women may not be 100%. Halep didn't play Dubai, lost to Serena at the Aussie Open, and when I watched Halep play in Miami a couple of years ago, what really jumped out to me was how much pop she generates on her forehand down the line. I think she'll have to look to be more aggressive with this draw, not just fall back on her defensive tendencies. Halep could meet Caroline Garcia in the second round, maybe the incendiary Coco Gauff in the third. Coco third in total aces this year with 76, but she's also got the most double faults by far with 95, so some good and some bad for the teen. Gauff has made deep runs recently in Adelaide and Dubai, but the good news for Halep is that she's met Coco once so far. That was at Wimbledon in 2019, and Halep handled the youngster quite easily that day. Speaking of Adelaide, in the middle of Section 2 is the 15 seed Iga Swiatek, who was the champion in Adelaide this year. I'd give the solid edge to Swiatek if it's her against Madison Keys in the third round. Keys hasn't won a match in Miami since 2017, and Swiatek just has too much variety in her game. I think she gives Keys multiple looks and prevents her from locking into a good groove in that matchup. We also have the 9 seed Petra Kva, who just picked up the 28th singles title of her illustrious career earlier in March in Doha, knocked off Pegula and Muguruza, but Kvitova may not be fully healthy either. Like Halep, she pulled out of Dubai with a thigh injury, so I wouldn't necessarily anticipate a deep run by the Czech. That could open the door for the 2016 Miami Open champion Jo Konta, the 17 seed in this field. And at the bottom of your screen, we find one of my favorites, number 5, Elena Spidelina. It's been a couple of years since she's made the semis of a WTA 1000 event. Maybe she's due for some magic in Miami. Spidelina could see Shelby Rogers in round 2, and she won't take her potential third-round opponent lightly, number 30, Alexandrova, who played Spidelina in January in Abu Dhabi, was one of the matches of the year. Spidelina ended up saving match points, winning 10-8 in a final set breaker. Again, lots of strong candidates to come out of this section. More A-listers then in quarter number 3, especially this top mini section. It's jam-packed for the 8 seed Bianca Andreescu. Just a couple of tournaments in 2021 so far. She continues her long road back from injury, upset at the Aussie Open in the second round by the tricky Shea Su Wei. Is this the tournament that Andreescu stamps her authority and declares her return? Only the second Miami Open for the Canadian, and BB may meet Sloane Stephens, who had a memorable run to win the Miami title in 2018. She could also face Amanda Anisimova in the third round. She played just her first 2 matches of the year a couple of weeks ago in Dubai. Anisimova had to deal with COVID and a freak ankle injury, so may not be the most in form. Petra Martich is the 20 seed, but the 12 seed is who I want to talk about. Other than Naomi Osaka, Garbine Muguruza is the number 2 player I'm not betting against on hard courts right now. She leads the WTA in wins in 2021. 18-4 is the Spaniard's record. A 1,000 level title in Dubai earlier this month, and Muguruza is just punishing the ball, stepping in with supreme confidence, finding the angles, hitting opponents off the court. She's had a couple of recent thrillers versus Sabalenka that are match of the season candidates, but for the most part, Mugu is blowing people out. She'll be the sizable favorite to make the semis from this section. But one note on Mugu, the last time she played Andreescu was 2019 Indian Wells, and Andreescu dominated that day 6-love, 6-1. So watch out for that. Number 13, Jennifer Brady, is another American woman in this part of the draw. Broke through to her first major final in Melbourne. The Harrisburg, Pennsylvania native has ascended up to 14 in the rankings. Brady, one of the very best forehands the women's game has to offer. Such a heavy shot with her topspin. Brady can push foes off the court. She's serving awesome too. Only Osaka holds serve at a higher rate in 2021 than Brady. That's why I like her chances to have success in Miami, especially with the 4 seed Sophia Cannon having recent appendicitis surgery, was dealing with a leg injury, hasn't played a ton this year. Second round loss for Cannon to Kaya Kanepi at the Australian Open. Finally, in section 4, the very last name on the draw is the aforementioned number 2 Naomi Osaka, a month and a half removed from her 3rd Grand Slam title, and she's earned the right to be the healthy favorite every single time she steps out onto a hard court. Not even necessarily because her ceiling is the highest, but it's about her floor. Naomi has so few bad days, especially when it's a hard court. She's on a 21 match winning streak, only lost a single set at the Aussie Open en route to that title, and most of the sets were 6-3 or 6-2, even against the great Serena or Jennifer Brady. Osaka has so much power, she plays within herself, and Wim Fissette, her coach, prepares her so well regarding the tendencies of her opponents. She's kind of just been resting up since Melbourne, so I'd be baffled if we don't see another deep run for the Japanese superstar in Miami. Up at the top is number 6, Karolina Plishkeva, who I think she's got to be the most upset with how the draw shook out for her. Plishkeva can't seem to get away from Jess Pegula. Her last 2 losses in Dubai and Doha, both to Pegula, 3-6, 1-6, and then love 6, 2-6. It's pretty rare you see a top 10 player take consecutive blowouts like that to the same opponent, but Pegula has soared up the rankings recently, reaching the Aussie Open quarterfinals in just her 2nd ever Australian Open main draw. Kind of a late bloomer, Pegula, 27 years of age, some great offensive weapons, finds her spots well with the forehand, and she's been so consistent the last couple of months. So that's going to be a really tough challenge for Plishkeva to power her way past Pegula. Number 23, Maria Sakkari is in a great spot opposite the 10 seed Kiki Bertens, who's still physically not 100% after an Achilles injury. Watch out for the 16 seed Elise Mertens. She's 11-2 this year, returning serve tremendously well. Just seeing the ball great. Mertens always consistent. She breaks serve at a near 50% clip this season. And one of the better first-round matchups in Miami at the bottom here, the big hitting Aussie Ayla Tomljanovic versus the Russian teen who's been on a roll, Anna Potapova. That'll be great. And, it's just awesome to see so many of the WTA stars participating in this event. 27 of the top 30 players are in attendance in Miami, so should be plenty of star-studded collisions. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, thank you so much for watching my WTA Miami Open Draw preview. Please check out my men's preview as well for Miami. Leave a comment, let me know who you think is going to win this event, and if you want more tennis content and preview videos, please subscribe to Snowman Sports Media. Thanks a lot. Cheers.